Love you, baby.
Love you. Well, hello you guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today it is just me. I'm doing the first trimester recap, as you obviously saw in the title, and so Chad was like, babe, I feel like you should just do this on your own because it's mainly questions for me. And so I'm so excited. I actually wrote a lot of them down because there were so many questions on Instagram that were so similar. And so I tried to pick the most frequently asked questions because I'm gonna be honest, I feel like last go around with first pregnancy with Micah, I had like an entire note section. I was keeping track of like every single little thing. I was so in tune with what I was feeling and what was going on. I feel like this pregnancy has just been so different, and I'll get into all the reasons how it's been different, why it's been different, but I needed y'all's questions to keep me on track because honestly, my mom brain, I feel like this baby is sucking my brain out, and I will just notice myself completely losing my train of thought, not knowing where I'm going, making up words. I'm like, what is going on? But anyways, y'all, let's just jump on in. This will be fun. Okay, so the first question, and I feel like this was the most highly asked question, was how has this pregnancy been different than my pregnancy with Micah? And to fully get into that, I feel like I actually need to answer a couple of the other questions, which first off, one of the questions was, were there any early signs? With Micah, I had so many early signs. I mean, I was literally sick as a dog for like 2 weeks before I found out with Micah. And I'm talking sick, like pregnant, immune system dropped, and I got like sick, like more flu style sick. Then I also remember I was having hip pain during the night. I was having insomnia. I remember, like, you can go back and watch my first trimester recap with him because I was very detailed, and this is like TMI. Sorry if there's any boys out there watching, there's probably not, but like, I remember like one of my nipples itchy, like it was just like itching for days, and I like felt so uncomfortable, like I felt like I just kept having to do this all day. And I remember telling that to my girlfriend Jade, and she was like, that was the first sign for me. This time, literally none of that. That's why I didn't take the pregnancy test for a couple days later. I was like, I don't feel pregnant. Like, literally did not have one symptom before finding out that we were pregnant with this baby. Yeah, that's different. The nausea this go around, which was another question, like, have I experienced nausea? Yes, 100%. But it's different than with Micah. With Micah, I had like underlying nausea all day long. I remember being a little flustered because I was like, I thought this was just supposed to be morning sickness. Why am I laying on the couch so nauseous at 3 p.m. every day? Like, I remember waking up nauseous and then going to sleep nauseous. Like, I was just nauseous practically the entire first trimester. And now granted, we were traveling most of the first trimester with Micah, so like car rides and everything else were not helping with that. But I just remember I had a lot more aversions and I felt a lot more nauseous. But I will say it was like nausea without vomiting. So like I was not throwing up a ton until way later on in my pregnancy with Micah. I did before I found out, but that was like because I was sick. With this pregnancy, I have nausea in the morning, but it will like randomly hit. Like I won't necessarily wake up and be nauseous. I'll like wake up, I'll go get Micah, and then a few minutes in, like if I don't eat right away, then I will experience nausea. And it's more like if I get nauseous, I'm gonna throw up. And then I'm gonna throw up and then it's gonna be gone. And it's very weird. But in the first 11 weeks, I only threw up 2 or 3 times. And so what's funny is I feel like, because now I'm currently 16 weeks pregnant when I'm filming this, I actually threw up more in like week 13 through 15 than I did my entire first trimester. And I was like, wait, what is happening? I thought this was supposed to be getting better. And right when I was supposed to get better, I felt like it was kind of getting worse. But like I said, not as bad. And I will experience like a spurt of nausea towards the night, but I realize it's if I let myself go too long without eating. So like if I go probably more than like 3 or 4 hours without having something in my system, I'll get nauseous. And then when I do eat, it will make me nauseated. Like I'll get to a point where nothing sounds good. And so eating little snacks is a game changer for me. And then also there was a question of if I was feeling nausea, how have I managed and dealt with that? I will say Preggy Pops, I like immediately ordered them as soon as I found out we were pregnant. And Nausea Calm, it's like a homeopathic little nausea tablet. They like melt in your mouth. And I don't know if it's just a placebo effect or what, but I will try not to take them often, but if I really need to, I'll take them. And then something that has been very different about this pregnancy than the last pregnancy is I remember being emotional with Micah, but with this one, and it's like a weird thing to say, I don't like love admitting this, but I have had a much harder time managing my emotions. And when I say that, yes, I'll get to a crying point easier. Like if you watched our video the other day, like if you get me talking about Jesus, like I'm gonna cry. But I have realized I also am getting frustrated a little bit quicker. Like I feel like I've never dealt with anger or frustration. Like that has not been something that I've struggled with. Like I feel like I just go from I'm okay, and then my frustration will just be crying. Like if I'm frustrated, I'll cry. Versus in this pregnancy, I've dealt with things getting under my skin faster. And I'm like, wait, why am I so frustrated right now? Like I remember when we were in Colorado and like we had found out we were pregnant there, I remember Micah was sleeping terribly. And I remember one night we could not get him back to sleep. It had been like an hour and a half and he was just crying and like, poor guy, like was having a hard time. And normally like I'm so empathetic in those moments and I just like feel bad and I like wish I could do something. But instead of that feeling, which is what I'm used to, I was getting like frustrated. And that's not something, like I said, I'm not used to dealing with going there. And I've just noticed it throughout this pregnancy where I'll like get way more easily frustrated. And then because I don't struggle with it normally, I'm like frustrated that I'm frustrated and then I spiral. And so anyways, I really need to work through that and process. Like I just remember something the other day, it like set me off randomly and I'm like, babe, why? What is going on? And he's like, we need to get to the feeling behind the feeling, right? Like let's actually talk about this. And I told him, I think it's a great time to mention the sponsor of this video, which is BetterHelp. Honestly, I genuinely need to start back my therapy with them. I used them a couple years ago and I feel like once we moved into this house, I got super relaxed and I just lost the routine of it, especially with like having Micah and stuff. And I told Chad literally yesterday that I'm going to go back online to BetterHelp and get a new therapist. They have over 30,000 therapists on there. And so you can actually go, you can say like, I want a Christian therapist or whatever you might want. And they're licensed therapists. And what I love about it is I could just message my therapist whenever I needed to, or go on her schedule and just pop in when I knew I was available and free. And I just remember it helping me so much. And like, literally with so much unknown in Chad and I's life right now, with moving, with all of everything, I just feel like maybe it's because we're in so much unknown that little things that I can't necessarily control are like triggering me. And so anyways, that is something that I am like very excited to start back on. And so if you've ever felt like you need a therapist or you've experienced anxiety, like something else that was different in my first pregnancy than this one was I experienced a lot of anxiety my first trimester, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiousness, just in regards to like, will something go wrong? Is the baby okay? Just counting down the next day, like counting down the days till our next appointment. And I really had to like lean into the Lord for peace, but I also like needed to process why I was feeling all of those things. And so if that is you, if you are watching and you just feel like you need someone who's outside of your circle, right? Like I love going to chat. I love going to family and to friends, but sometimes it's just nice to go to an actual therapist who like knows the right questions to ask you and really get to like the root of it and process things with you. And so anyways, we do have a code. It'll get you 10% off your first month if you go to betterhelp.com/mastersfam10. And so anyways, I highly recommend. I'm going to be doing it as well. And so if you have any questions, feel free to comment below or maybe just DM me on Instagram so that, you know, it's not just on the internet comments. But anyway, so that was super different with this pregnancy as well. Another thing that people asked was like cravings and aversions. So similarly to first trimester with Micah, I really crave like citrusy things and fruit, but different is I have been craving cucumbers with balsamic and salt. Like it is literally, I feel like the best thing that ever happened to me when I chop up some cucumbers, throw a little salt, a little balsamic, vinaigrette on it, maybe throw in some diced tomatoes, some feta, like very Mediterranean. Like I just want fresh. I think that's what it is I want fresh. With Micah, I remember like craving a lot of McDonald's, and like that happened once or twice with this pregnancy where I really just wanted like some French fries and a milkshake. But the majority of my cravings have been, I just want something fresh. Like I want a salad, I want cucumbers, I want oranges, I want a smoothie. I just feel like I want to nourish my body. That has been my cravings. And now aversion wise, I haven't had as many aversions this time except for coffee. Like I have not drank a hot coffee since probably a week after we found out we were pregnant. That's when that aversion kind of hit. And the thought of coffee, the smell of coffee was a no-go, except for iced coffee. Iced coffee, totally fine. Praise the Lord, because I genuinely feel like it's a sick joke because you are so fatigued when you're pregnant and then you have an aversion to the thing that's gonna give you energy and you're like, seriously? But I found this cold brew that I love, and it's Bizzy's, B-I-Z-Z-Y-S maybe? And it's a breakfast blend, but it's like a very smooth, I don't use a lot of it because your serving size is like 12 ounces. Like I just make a small cup and I'll have that. And I can't have it right in the morning either, which is interesting. I have to have orange juice in the morning. Orange juice and like little yogurt smoothies and hash browns. I do feel like another reason why it's been a little bit different this pregnancy is because I'm taking care of Micah. And so I don't really have as much time to really think about how I'm feeling all the time. Like I'm more concerned with making sure he's good, and then when he's napping, getting work done. And so I just feel like I have not sat in this pregnancy as much, just like in my thoughts, in my feels, like how am I feeling today? Let me check my app. Like I just feel like this pregnancy, which was another question, has it flown by? Like has it gone faster or slower? It has gone by so much faster. Like the fact that I'm already 16 weeks is mind-blowing to me. Last time I feel like the first trimester just drug on, but I feel like it was because every day I'm like checking the app and checking everything and writing everything down. And so I just feel like it went by a lot faster. And this has been a very busy season of our life. Like y'all know, there's a lot of moving pieces. And so I just feel like there's been so much occupying my mind that I just haven't had as much time to just sit with my thoughts. And so that's been different. Let's see, odd symptoms this time. Something that's been very odd, my skin has been so sensitive. Like my lips are getting better, but for weeks I felt like my lips were peeling and I was always on the verge of getting a cold sore. And cold sores are not something that I struggle with. Like Chad struggles with cold sores and it's normal for him. But for me, like I think I've maybe had one, maybe two cold sores in my entire life. And so to go like from not struggling with that at all to like constantly feeling like I was on the verge of a cold sore and like my lips literally cracking and peeling, I was like, what is this? So that's been strange. And then my skin just so sensitive. Like every single time I shave, I've been getting razor burn. And so if y'all have any tips on that, I'm already using like a all natural shaving cream, which I've never had to use before. I love my Billy razor. Maybe I need like an aftershave cream or something to like calm my skin down. But even like wearing hats like will sometimes bother my forehead. Like I will get itchy. I'm about to potentially change up some of my skincare, and so I'll keep y'all posted on that journey to see if maybe that helps. But yeah, that has been a very odd symptom that I was just like, where is this even coming from? And so, okay, let's see. Did I start showing faster this time? 100%. I would give y'all a bump date right now, but the pants I'm in, I don't feel like does my bump justice. And so make sure to follow me on Instagram and I'll do some more bump dates over there. But definitely started showing a lot faster this time. And I love that. Like I love having a bump. I think it's so fun. I think that I'm still in that like kind of awkward in between of some, like if I'm in yoga pants, you can definitely see it's a bump and it's cute. But if I'm in like just a t-shirt, it just kind of looks like I'm bloated. And so I'm like excited to have like the pregnancy bump and really start feeling the baby. So that's something that's also been different is I felt the baby so soon this time when we went to our second ultrasound when I was 12 weeks. I think I was close to 13 weeks, but 12 weeks. The baby was moving so much and literally jumped, and I felt it while I was watching. And I think that had I not been watching and felt it, I would have just been like, oh no, that's not me feeling the baby. That was just something else. Because I didn't feel anything with Micah until I think like 18 weeks, closer to 20 weeks with him. And so I felt so much sooner. And then there's just been little times where I'll feel like the little flutters or I'll like feel the movement. And I think it's different because I kind of know what I'm looking for this time, or I like know what it feels like. And so maybe that's why I'm feeling the baby sooner, but it's very exciting. That was one of my favorite things being pregnant with Micah, is being able to like feel him move around. Like it's just the craziest, coolest thing, because you're just reminded like there is a living, active child in my belly. Like, what a miracle. It's so cool. Next question is, when am I due? So I'm due early April. My due date is technically April 6th. So, you know, baby will come when baby wants to come. Learn that first time around. Next question is, will we find out the gender? And yes, Chad and I kind of like to spread out the excitement, even though I feel like if it was just up to me, I would have already found out, but I'm glad that Chad like makes us wait it out just a little longer. So I think what we're gonna do is, because I'll turn 20 weeks like end of November, early December, we're actually gonna push it a little longer and then wait to find out the gender on Christmas. Because I just feel like that would be so fun. Like we love Christmas, we love like little gifts here and there that are intentional, but I just feel like that will make the day so exciting to know that like Christmas morning we will find out if we're having another little boy or a little girl. And so excited. So I think we answered this in a different video. Another question was, do we have any inkling of the gender? Are we leaning one way or the other? And it's so hard to say. I think because of like what I've shared with like pregnancy being a little bit different, that makes me think like, well, maybe it's a girl because it's been different. But then I talk to so many moms who have very different pregnancies, the heart rates are very different, and it's the same gender. And so either way, so excited. Like if it's another little boy, they're gonna grow up besties. I feel like they'll have the same friends, they'll get to play sports together. Like it'd be so cute. I love being a boy mama. But if it's a girl, like we have a boy and a girl, and I would love to be a girl mom. I just feel like that would be so fun to experience. And so either way, so happy. And we want more than 2 children if that's what the Lord has for us. And so hopefully we'll get to experience having boys and girls. And so anyways, let's see. Okay, another one was, any trouble sleeping at night this time? Yes, yes, yes. It's not necessarily that I have trouble falling asleep because I'm so tired at the end of the day, but if I wake up, I can't go back to sleep for like an hour and a half. So the insomnia has definitely been there. And say like Micah's really good about sleeping through the night, but every once in a while he will like wake up once during the night. Like last night he woke up at like 3 a.m. and I went in and I gave him a bottle, but then like I didn't fall back asleep till 5. And so that's been a little tough. I will say I have taken Unisom a couple of times and it's been super helpful, but like I don't always want to take it, and I do feel like I'll wake up a little bit more groggy, and especially during like a work week, I don't want to wake up groggy because Micah is an early riser, and so I just feel like it kind of throws me off during the day. And so I will take a Unisom sometimes during the weekend when I know I can like just be chill on our Sabbath and stuff like that. But yeah, the insomnia is very real, and I don't really remember experiencing that as much first trimester. I remember it third trimester with Micah. That's probably not the most fun thing ever. Let's see. Okay, this is a juicy question. Was intimacy impacted this time around? This time around, not at all. I feel like for some reason Chad is like, loves that I'm pregnant. I feel like the first time around, he was like nervous that I was pregnant. And so I will say first trimester last time, also because I was so sick, right? Like I was always nauseous. So he's like, okay, I'm not gonna like, if you're so nauseous, that's not, you know, gonna put me in the mood. But this time around, I think because I felt better and we know that everything's good. Intimacy has not been impacted. So we are very grateful, thankful for that, because I know that it does impact couples because it impacted us last time. And so it's tough, super tough. But like I said, very grateful that that aspect is different this pregnancy. Okay, guys, I think I answered all of your questions. If I forgot anything, if y'all have any additional questions that I can answer in like the second trimester recap video or another Q&A that we do in the future, just leave them in the comments below. But I love bringing you guys along this journey. And if you are currently pregnant, congratulations. There's so many of you that message me over on Instagram that were pregnant at the same time. Some of you, your first pregnancy, some of you were pregnant with your first when I was pregnant with Micah, and we're pregnant again together, which is very exciting. Oh, okay, I did miss a question. Someone asked how many months postpartum were you when you found out? And I was almost 9 months postpartum. And so they will be 18 months apart. I think I'm saying that right. I either was 9 months or I was almost 9 months, but yeah, they'll be 18 months apart. Very excited, very excited. We will have it 2 under 2. And I know that it'll have its hardships, but children are a blessing from the Lord. And so I'm just so excited that He is entrusting us to steward these little lives. And so it'll make me cry. Anyways, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.